This is W2FJH bringing up the STNY digital voice net on Grandma's Talk with 31367, wires X room 83721, and on Zoom. The primary purpose of the STNY digital voice net is to help foster an active digital voice community in the southern tier of New York and to provide a forum for those that are interested or have questions regarding various digital voice topics. While this net is primarily for the southern tier, all stations are more than welcome to check in. This net meets weekly on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Again, the call is Whiskey 2 Foxtrot Juliet Hotel, or name here Frank. We will first take a standby for any stations with emergency or priority traffic. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard there. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, please give your call sign followed by the word break spoken 2 times. Please leave a 4 to 5 second pause between transmissions for breaking stations or for those who wish to disconnect the talk group. This is a direct net, and the format will follow announcements, questions, and comments. This net utilizes NetLogger, which can be found at netlogger.org. NetLogger is not required, and we will take additional voice check-ins. For more information about this net or to join the Zoom meeting, please visit stnydmr.net. That's Sierra Tango November Yankee Delta Mike Romeo.net. You can also find us on 73.net. That's Sierra Echo Victor Echo November numeric number 3.net. This net will prioritize mobile in and out or emergency power stations, followed by NetLogger check-ins, followed by voice check-ins. We currently do have 3 stations checked in with NetLogger, so the net would like to recognize KC9HEK, Brian, NE2W, Ed, and N3OJP, Mick. When checking in, please give your call sign, your name, and your location. So let's take a standby for any and all stations that would like to check into the STNY digital voice net. Please call now.
N2 NCB, Paul, sunny downtown Owego.
AI6IG, John, out in Ridgecrest, California.
This is AD30 in Coral City, Florida. All right, the next we'd like to recognize N2NCB Paul from sunny downtown Owego. AI6IG John from Ridgecrest, California, and 830 Dennis. Sorry I didn't catch your location here, but it was coming up on QRZ as Sayre, PA. I thought you said California as well, but maybe there's a mismatch there. So, are there any other stations to join this evening? Please call out. Okay, with nothing heard there, we will kick things off. If there's any announcements for this evening, please call now. Okay, nothing heard there either. If there's any questions for this evening, please call now. Okay, moving right along this evening. So we will starting with comments. So just for everybody's information there, the net topic for this net was GMRS. Do you have a GMRS license along with your ham radio license? And we're going to talk about practical applications for GMRS, especially for non-hams, maybe family and friends, how you use GMRS. Put a few examples out here of camping, boating, hunting, etc. And also, additionally, as hams, can we possibly utilize GMRS licensees for special events monitoring and to possibly recruit more volunteers that way that can work with hams for those that just have a GMRS license? So we will kick things off with KC9 HEK. Brian, how was your week there?
This is KC9HEK. Good evening, Frank, Net Control, and hello to everybody else in the group. Pretty much a non-eventful week this week. Just a typical old winter weather week outside of Buffalo, New York. Nothing too exciting. As far as tonight's question regarding GMRS, I have actually had very little experience with it. Over the last year, I have recommended getting into GMRS to a couple of folks. I'm here on the lake promoting, and another person who travels quite a bit in an RV. But I have not used it other than just casually for a few minutes here and there, so I'm not licensed. I have considered getting a license for it and picking it up because we do a lot of RV travel. We're also out on the lake a lot, and I do know that a lot of people out here on the lake are using GMRS to stay in touch. It's something I might explore in the future. As far as recruiting goes, I'd have to give that a little bit more thought. I saw that on your topics, right? And I'm just not sure how that would work. Probably if we made contact with folks and got them interested in HR for a crossover from the two modes, possibly. But with that, I'm going to turn it on to Ed, NE2W. This is KC9 HEK.
Well, thank you, Brian, and very good evening to everybody. How was my week? Busy, as usual. School's back in session. The kids are working, and my son's car's in the shop, so he has my vehicle. So I've been bumming rides and that type of thing. It's going to be he has something wrong with his engine, burning a lot of oil. It's supposedly covered under warranty, but we're going to find out. But that keeps me out most days. I don't get home till later. But the weather has been nice. I think we're going to pay for it with this. Today was up in the 40s here in Binghamton, New York. I buy out and go park for the guys from out of town. GMRS, never sent in for that. A long time ago, I did send in for a CB license just for kicks. And I want to say family radio system. Back in the 90s, our son was born and we got a cell phone. So my wife would have it with her if she needed whatever with the baby. But back then, people generally only had one cell phone. But we did pick up some walkie-talkies for when we went places like the Carousel Mall up there in Syracuse, a big mall, and used the family radio walkie-talkies to keep in touch. I like to tour the electronic stores, and she wanted to do the clothing. But FMRS, yeah, I don't know how that would integrate. You got to be careful with regulations. I would encourage people with the GMRS to look at getting their tech license and expand their capabilities. We give the test once a month up at Copernic, 35-question multiple choice. You do have to study for it. I haven't seen anybody come up and pass and say they didn't study. Usually when they fail. They asked me, have you read the book? No, they didn't study at all. But if you get through it, uh, either the audio stuff or whatever they usually pass, you only gotta get, you don't have to get them all right either. I think you can get 10 wrong. I forget, it's all written down when I go up there. But that's about it from here. Good to hear a variety of stations on. I know I've heard A30 Dennis before from Sarah, but he sounded like he was out of town. Back to you, Frank. This is WCW.
Hey, very good there, Ed and Ryan. Yes, yes. FRS and GMRS do share basically all their frequencies, except I think it's 7 to 14. Um, GMRS is not supposed to be used, but I do know that the channels 15 through 22, you can use up to 50 watts through GMRS license. So much higher than I think the 2 watts is available for FRS. So definitely a big difference in those channels between the FRS and GMRS radios. But, all right, next on my list is N3OJP. Mick, how was your week there? Oh, good evening, Frank. Everybody on the net. Well, it was pretty good. Boy, 50 watts, GMRS. I really don't know too much about it. I just never had enough interest to even look any deeper. I did have the family radios. I forgot a couple of them here that my grandson and I fool around with. And we got a couple 2-3 inch snowfalls this week. So earlier in the week, I was shoveling snow. And today it was in the 40s. Back it's 43. So I washed the cars. And then, I just got back from field day. One of the guys just about a mile up the road, he has everybody come over. We set up 3 stations. And he's got a Yagi up on a 50-foot tower. And we run a doublet and I think a wire. So we run 3 stations. Made some contacts. I was on 40 meters. I think I made of Eastern Ontario, Northern New York, or a couple of new ones. 40 meters is pretty much from Maine down to Florida, probably over to Kentucky. So it hasn't gone long yet. So I was starting to get some dupes. So anyway, I left and picked up some dinner and brought that home for my wife. So I can't stay too long this evening. But that was about it for field day. But no, to answer your question, I know nothing about GMRS, Frank. I guess I should be curious. I'm testing Zoom right now because last week or so I was getting a lot of interference. If you remember, Ed was getting that same interference along the top of the picture, and also it would freeze. So all I did, I just deinstalled Zoom. I reloaded it, and seems to be pretty stable. Looks like my picture is holding up. But I can't stay on too long, Frank. W2FJH, this is N3OJP. Hey, very good there, Mick, and glad things are working out with Zoom there. Just one of those old sayings there, or if you're a fan of the IT crowd, if you ever seen that show of, have you tried turning it off and back on again? That's always a go-to for fixing things. So good as have you tried uninstalling and reinstalling this time? So, next on my list is N2SCP. Paul, how was your week there?
Hello again, Frank, and all into NCV here. Most
Hey, very good there, Paul. And yeah, I hear a lot of the bands are doing better. But, all right, before we get to the next station, this is W2FJH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. And let's take a standby for any additional stations that would like to join this evening. Please call now. WX2 USA. Okay, and then I would like to recognize WX2 USA, Bill. All right, next on my list is AI6IG, John. How was your week there? And just by the way, I believe you're new to this band, or at least the call sign doesn't ring a bell. So also just curious how you heard of us, and just again the net topic for those who might be joining us right there is GMRS. Do you have a GMRS license along with your ham radio license? Practical applications for GMRS, especially for non-hams or family or friends, potentially camping, boating, hunting, etc. So I'll hand it over to John, AI6IG. This is WQFH.
Yeah, this is AI6IG, John, Ridgecrest, California, which is about 40 miles due west of Death Valley. And I'm originally from upstate New York. I moved across the map. I was reading something and saw the map listed. And I plugged it in my hotspot. We don't have a DMR repeater around here. And I'm going to be moving back upstate New York, so I thought I'd just check in, listen in to the net, and
I think we might have lost you there, John. This is W2FJH. We heard that you were potentially moving back to upstate. I think that's about the time when you cut out. So give it another go there. AI6IG, W2FJH.
yeah, the hotspot connect a little flaky sometimes. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be moving back upstate New York, and I thought I'd listen in on this net to see, just to get a feel for the state of DMR and D-Star and Fusion, find out what's going on in the area. I hope to be back by the summer. As far as GMRS, I know little. So back to the net.
Oh, very good there, John. Happy for you to be here. And just by the way, you're also in good hands because we also don't have any GMRS repeaters in the air here. So everybody basically tuning in is basically on a hotspot as well. So, all right, next on my list is another one there. This is a call sign. I know it doesn't ring a bell to me. AD30, sorry, AD30. Dennis, how was your week there?
Yeah, W2FGH and the net 83. Yeah, this is our winter place down in Florida. We're down in Floral City, Florida, and it's been about half a year home up at Sarah, Pennsylvania. So if you drill down into QRZ, it's a rather detailed chronicle of my life, and the last part of it is we're down here. So I'm pretty active and up at Sarah and in Bradford County, Pennsylvania, and I decided to take a look at DMR. I have been on Fusion for some years, and decided to take a look at DMR for various reasons, and so you're one of the very few contacts I happen to have it on the frequency here. I was talking to KC2EQ up in Elmira earlier today, and on this
and the hotspot timed out. So I'm on with a hotspot down here. There are not a lot of repeaters, nothing actually within range. So let me let it drop for a sec. But I have a ham radio station down here too, and kind of busy a little bit with radio, and I am an avid cyclist, so I do a lot of that. I'm only about a couple hundred yards from a 46-mile multi-use trail. So that's the rundown here. I recognize some calls. I recognize Ed, and that's it for right now. W2FJH AD30.
Hey, very good there, Dennis. Yeah, you sounds like you got a plan there. Get out of New York in the winter time, because I tell you, I'm already tired. We've had a mild winter, but still, I'm tired of the snow already. All right, next on my list is WX2 USA. Bill, how was your week there?
Hey, Frank and everyone on the net. Oh, this week went by kind of quick for once. Usually it drags pretty good, but it went by pretty quick. So I got to say, at least I had a pretty decent week. As for GMRS, I have a GMRS license. Had it for about 8 years. I have a small little repeater up in the area of Endwell, where I live. And there's 3 other repeaters in the area. So there's a few repeaters in this area. If anybody has any questions with GMRS, yeah, shoot them at me. I might be able to handle it, help you with it, and we can go from there. But yeah, GMRS is a pretty good stepping stool if you know somebody that might be interested in ham radio. You know, have them get a GMRS license and see if they're still interested in it. You know, if they get into the radios and they want to do more and more and more, by all means, take the test. If they're happy with just GMRS, then that's pretty cool, because the whole family can use it on just one license. And it's only $35 for 10 years. Can't beat that. But yeah, that's all I have for now. Oh, one more thing. Frank, you were saying channels 1 through 14 are FRS only. They changed that at the beginning of this last year, in 2022, where GMRS now shares with channels 1 through 14, just on a lower power. Just thought I'd throw that out there. All right, well, back to you. Take care, everybody. And WX2 USA.
Hey, very good there, Bill, and thanks for correcting me on that. Yeah, the lower channels, I do know they can go up to 5 watts with GMRS. But then I know 15 through 22, they'd be bumped up to 50, which is much more power, much more range. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think yours is on one of the upper channels as well. So probably a lot more power there. And I think I was about to look that up. I was about to look up how much it was. I knew that there was a price change. But for anybody who is interested, as Bill mentioned, the cost is $35 for 10 years. And it not only covers you, it covers your family and extended family. So I was looking up before of what they consider family, and apparently uncles and in-laws and stuff like that, they all consider family. So definitely, doing camping with the family or something like that, you can buy one license and everybody can use it. All right, this is W2FGH with the STNY Digital Voice Net. Let's see if there's any other stations that would like to check in this evening. Please call now. All right, then, with nothing heard there, let's do this final call. For any additional stations that would like to check in this evening, or any stations that have checked in with any questions, comments, or concerns, please call now. All right, then, with nothing heard, we will wrap things up here. So I'd like to thank Brian, Ed, Mick, Paul, John, Dennis, and Bill for joining us this evening. We will return this talk group back to normal amateur radio use. Hoping everybody has a great week there. This is W2FJH, and I'll be listening. W2FJH here. Just by the way, I did forget to mention we will be having an after-net tech discussion. This week I'll be talking about a simple way recording DMR net, just in case that you won't be able to attend a DMR net, but you still would like to listen to it. I have been recording the current STNY digital voice nets there. And you can find them on STNY.dmr.net. However, I'll be talking about how I go about doing that, and this way, if there's any other nets that you would like to record there, you can go about doing that with just a PC. So you can find the link to the Zoom meeting if you'd like to join us. It is on STNY.dmr.net. So if anybody would like to join us, we'll see you over there. W2FJH, I'll be listening.